these deals come up and they just get snapped up really fast. So people who are really ready, that's when we send out the email, or even we haven't sent out the email, we just say, hey, friends and family, you guys want this, and it just gets snapped up because people understand.
Hey investors, Bradley here from Watson Estates. How does a 29-year-old quit their corporate six-figure job and replace that income with stock options and their real estate portfolio? Well, today we talk with Cody Yeh as he dives into how he's managed to build an amazing cash flow through these investment strategies. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this video, this channel. We are Toronto's #1 real estate podcast, the largest and fastest growing podcast for Toronto real estate on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you have any comments for us, please leave those down below. Enjoy. Hi, Cody. Thanks for joining us on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and teach us a little bit about how investing in stocks and the market can piece quite beautifully like a puzzle with real estate itself. I think you're going to add a lot of value to our listeners today, so I'm glad you could join us.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to have value, right?
Absolutely. So now you've got quite a good sized YouTube channel. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us where you come from, how you spend your time, and what kind of passive income streams you've been able to generate over the years.
Yeah, so I came to Canada as an immigrant when I was 18, right? And I went to Vancouver, pick up some study. I went to U of T, study engineer. I graduate, start working at Honda as a project engineer, right? I worked my way up, eventually earned 6-digit income. And I just found myself working harder and harder and more stress in my life, right? And I was constantly attending like real estate webinars and just learning, taking courses online about, stocks, stock and option. I was actually a day trader for 2 years. So I was actually working sort of more like a 7 to 6 job. And I go home, I prep for an hour or two, I trade for an hour or two, and I write report reflecting on what happened that day, that I did the right thing for an hour or two. So I was either bouncing between real estate webinar or just day trading. That was what gave me here, right? And beginning of this year, I was able to quit my job thanks to the consistent income generated from stock option, and of course the real estate portfolio. That's what gives me the net capital to fund my trading account, and that just works really well together because real estate appreciation, you refi, you don't have to pay for tax, you put that into the trading account. The proceeds from the trading account just go back into buying more real estate and just expedite the speed of that wealth generation, right?
So would you say you're a trader that invests in real estate or a real estate investor that trades? Where do you spend most of your time now?
I'll say, because real estate stuff, I'm actually partnering with someone up in Simcoe County for wholesaling, and we flip houses as well. So if anyone's interested in getting on our buyer list, just reach out, or go on simcoehousebuyers.ca. You can get on the buyers list. But majority of my time is really trading. Once I get proficient at it, I don't spend much time, maybe 15 to 30 minutes per day on trading, and rest is really just creating YouTube videos. And I just had my stock and option course a month ago, probably 2 weeks ago. And that was my first one. So I really put in a lot of time, and now just running a weekly webinars and creating more content, right? And just growing other business on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. And with a following, you clearly have a lot of value. So what I'm hoping to kind of cover in our show today is maybe some of the strategies that you've employed that has allowed you to quit your employment. Maybe tell us a little bit about what you do with your own portfolio, and then we can kind of stretch with what you do with clients.
In terms of real estate or in terms of stock option?
Both, because I think there's a lot of synergy with what you're doing. I think that's what's unique here.
Okay. So real estate wise, I bought my first house in 2016. It was a bungalow in Toronto. At that time, I don't want to use my first time home buyer. So my mom actually wanted to buy a house. So I said, you know what? I save up a little bit since I graduate. So here's, 30, 50,000. Here you go. I just want to be part of it. And then that was my first house. And, it's in Toronto, right? It's a bungalow. So, the price right now. That just kind of, I wouldn't say is luck, but we did do our fundamental analysis. And, the second one was, and I think early 2017, it was single family in Alliston. I just thought if I'm going to live there for 5 to 10 years, that's the house I want to buy. So I just bought it. And other than that, there's 2 more, in Barrie area where I do convert to legal duplex myself, where it creates a bit of cash flow there. right?
Yep.
And then just keep refining them if the cash flow is positive, and just put those money in the trading account. And trading account right now, I put in around $150,000 in there. I have another $200,000 in HELOC. I just don't use them, but I do use the 150,000 in the trading account to generate around 5 to 6 grand consistent. I tell people that I know I might be under. A lot of people say, well, why don't you report more? But I say I want to be consistently hitting that, so I report lower, 5 to 6 grand.
This is per month. Per month you're doing? Right on.
Correct.
So you're dabbling in the real estate. We've had some big names in investing, like lots of large portfolios. But the reason I wanted you on the show was I think you've got a unique perspective on the investing side and the money you're using, this 150 that's generating this income. Tell us in layman's terms, for us that are maybe real estate savvy, but not so much into stock market or options. Tell us a little bit about what you do there. What does that look like? How does it work?
So the easiest way to explain this strategy is that instead of being like, imagine if you are, you're paying your auto insurance every month, right? You're paying premium to your auto insurance every month. So instead of being the client of paying that premium, now you're actually the insurance company. You get paid premium. But what happened to your premium when you pay the auto insurance company when you don't make a claim? They just keep it, right? And then they invest on their own and generate more, right? So now with this strategy, we'll be able to be in that insurance company's shoes where we give out a contract. We know that's a very safe contract. We already did our math. So if they don't make a claim, we keep all the premium. That's my passive income. But if they do make a claim, we can own the stocks at a cheaper price. And thanks to that premium, we get paid up front, right? And it's already a stock we want to own. It's a good quality stock. It's a famous name, like FAM Group, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook. This is not stock advice, but just saying all those big names, we know they're consistently making money. They have a lot of cash. They can ride through the downturn, right? So really idea is that we sell the contract, okay, to the other end, a speculator or someone who want to bet on market going up or going down. But we sell that insurance contract knowing that we get paid up front. And the worst case is that we can earn the stock at a cheaper price. And that's already the stock we want to own. And if the stock price kept going up, okay, we just keep repeating that and keep earning more money. If the stock going to stay the same, we still get paid a premium, just like an insurance company, insurance contract. If the stock going down a little bit, we're still okay, right? We still don't need to get assigned the stocks. If that makes sense.
It makes sense to me, but I want people to take in what you're saying because I think it's really cool. So what you're telling me is there's no downside.
No, there is a downside
okay.
if you are just speculating. So for example, just like an insurance company, if you want to insure a very risky person that always have like 10 speeding tickets per year, okay, if you want to insure that, no matter how much you get paid, it might not be worth it at the end because that person might get into a big accident and screw the idea. So for us is we rather insure people that are very safe. We rather receive a moderate amount instead of going very risky of insuring people that are high risk. So that's the strategy for us. So the worst case is, hey, average people, good driving record, right? We insure them and we get paid. And from the back end, we already do our calculation. We know how much, what's the percentage we get to, keep. And if they make a claim, it's okay. We're prepared for it.
It sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a bit ignorant on this side. It sounds to me like you're working with the speculator. So the speculation is happening with your customer or potential customer, and then you're just there to support their speculation. And and so I think that's kind of cool because of being someone who's not totally that deep into the investing world, I just know general market stuff. I think it's interesting and appealing to a lot of investors. I mean, you're talking a very conservative approach to investing, which a lot of people who invest in real estate do it because it's one of the most conservative and long-term successful plans there is. So is there anything else, other forms of investing you're doing in the market? Anything you're doing for clients or have kind of stepped outside of that world?
You mean the stock option world or the real estate world?
Either one. I'd love to see how they're connected, but I'm curious on the investing side because I think this would be the new approach.
So we could talk about the wholesaling side. So,
sure.
My partner has been, flipping 2 to 3 houses in Simcoe County consistently for the past 2 years, right? And we're ramping up the marketing and we want to get more leads. So we're going to, keep some for in-house for flipping, but the rest we just wholesale it out, where we buy at below market value. We tap on a little bit of fees, for our work, for finding, for pay for our marketing, but we help out more investor where they can get a below market value, where, there's a lot of bidding wars outside. You're an agent yourself, so you understand that there's a lot of bidding war. So even if it's a $500,000 house, and then, if we can sell it to an investor for 450, that's already $50,000 of equity the first day it goes in. And maybe I bought it for 40, whatever, but it's a win-win, right? I got paid a little bit, investor get equity the first day they go in, right? And then we're all win-win.
Absolutely. And we've had wholesalers on the show before. I think that's cool. That's actually how we originally connected. So yeah, I encourage anyone to connect with Cody on what they're doing there and wholesaling up in Simcoe. I think it's important that we connect with a lot of wholesalers. And as a real estate professional myself, I know my colleagues would be nervous of working with wholesalers, but I think it's straight silly, because if you're going to honestly do a service for your client, you're going to look out for properties. I find nowadays on-market product is so boring. And off market seems to be so much more of a successful, like if you're going to go in with instant equity, regardless of your strategy, maybe you're moving into that house, right? Maybe you're doing a BRRRR strategy like you guys are talking about, whatever that looks like. I think the wholesaling side is very attractive. And I think it's a secret that investors have known for years, but a lot of people are starting to pick up now because of the level of competition that we're experiencing.
Yes. And at the end of the day, whenever we buy a house under the market value, always think about who's the end users. Is it going to be a first-time home buyer? Is it going to be someone who wants to do a BRRRR, a legal duplex? Is it going to be someone more sophisticated, right? So if it's someone more general, then of course there's more demand for it as well, right? So that's what we keep in mind as well. And want to have a win-win, want to help out someone that wants to do a house hack, wants to BRRRR it, wants to just buy it for themselves and, don't have to go through the bidding war.
Yeah. Yeah. So for someone because most of our listeners are in the real estate world. So for someone who wants to expand, maybe they're connected to some wholesalers, they're doing some deals, they've got their expertise. How can someone partner with what you're doing to grow it to the next level? I mean, you've got the wholesaling side, so they can obviously work with you there. Is there anything they could be doing with their portfolio? I mean, I know from conversations we've had before, we've got a steady cash flow of rental income coming in. Is there something we could be doing to put that to work? Or are we looking just to the next real estate deal?
I mean, these deals come up and they just get snapped up really fast. So people who are really ready, that's when we send out the email, or even we haven't sent out the email, we just say, hey, friends and family, you guys want this? And it just gets snapped up because people understand. People are already ready. They have their down payment, they have their credit qualify, and they're ready to go, right? So it's quite demanding as well. But that's why I think the stock option strategy that I share and I teach on the course, it goes really well with the entire real estate, because real estate, we're not, wholesaling, flipping, it's kind of like fast money, but you're taking a lot of risk as well. That's why we want to make sure we buy low, because the market turn on us. We want to make sure we still have that buffer, and whether even better, the cash flow is still positive if we need to hold on to the real estate for a while, right? But the stock and option strategy can really give you that monthly income. Okay. On top, a lot of people has a big investment portfolio, but you can't really eat the equity, right? Unless you sell it or you refi it. But a lot of people, in Toronto and in the GTA area, they have a lot of equity, but the cash flow is already negative. So they don't want to, refi. The moment they refi, the DCR gets lower and the bank doesn't like them, they can't expand. So maybe that's a good chance for them to put a small amount or a bigger amount, depending on how comfortable you are, into a stock option trading, portfolio. I have a lot of friends that do a real estate and this stock option strategy as well. And they just be able to earn, I don't want to promise anything, but, I have seen between 30% to 70% year to date. So that's how you can actually expedite and get more down payment to buy more real estate, whether that's off market or on market or through JV with friends, or you want to be a private lending. I know private lending is a very, very prominent way of people making passive income.
Yeah. But
a lot of people actually, once they get into the stock option and they see, private lending is anywhere between 8%, could be lower by 8% to 20%, depending on whether you're first or second position. The tax wise, you have to pay basically full income on that, on the private lending. But in the stock option side, again, I'm not an accountant, but personally, I'm paying as a capital gain. So there's a huge tax benefit in that as well. And to me, once you get proficient, you only spend 15 to 30 minutes per day. So you don't have to worry about, hey, if it's that person flipping going well, you know, is the market going well? No, just none of that. You can basically have your phone, travel anywhere in the world, and you can trade over there, and you don't have to stress about that.
Yeah, those that I speak to that do stock options, they seem to be very free with time. They're always available. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to take you away from whatever you're doing. He's like, I wasn't doing anything. I find it really fascinating that when you talk about stock options, you talk about a conservative approach, right? Like stability
Yes.
relative to real estate, because everyone considers real estate as the safest thing. So I
Yeah.
find that I think you just laid a whole bunch of golden nuggets there for people to say, you know what, maybe I need to be considering this for myself. And if it's not going to take a whole lot of time, if this is the way to, I mean, a lot of people sell this idea of getting $10,000 cash flow from real estate, but we all know that that's quite a substantial portfolio if it's going to be a capital gains, right?
Correct.
It's going to be, otherwise it becomes in the form of income as well. So if we're able to pull this off in the form of a 50% taxable tax rate there, that's great.
And I just want to say Warren Buffett actually used the same strategy. Well, not exactly the same, but similar. So he owns a lot of insurance company. So he used the same way as I just talked about. He sell put option. Okay. And the worst case happened to him is he just say, you know what? I don't want to own this company at this price. But if it doesn't come down to that price, I just keep the premium and that's my income. And he just keep doing that.
Yeah.
For Coca-Cola, right? That's one of his biggest holding. You just keep doing that in the early days. Keep selling option until the market pull back a little bit. He's like, okay, now I own a company I want to own at a cheaper price. But he already earns so many income, right? So much income, right?
So I can hear some of our listeners thinking, Cody, you know investing. I don't know investing. I don't know what companies to do. I don't know where I could get involved in all of these things. So
Right.
why would I, though you say it's 20 or 30 minutes, how can we streamline that and ensure that that's the case? What does that look like for people who pull this off?
So I actually have, special guests on where people are teachers, stay-at-home moms, they're contractors, they're real estate agent, real estate investor, all walks of life. Okay. And I did day trading before. Okay. It was very stressful. I did a lot of write my own reports. That's where it gets me to this place. So I will never teach people about day trading because it needs a unique skill set and needs a very, very high stress mentality. And that's not what I teach. And, back then when I was day trading, I only used 10% of my capital. That means if I only have $10,000, I'll use $1,000. Okay. After the first 4 months, I was grinding it down, but I was earning 66% per year. So imagine if I use 100% of that. But of course, I can't argue that because that was my system, right? Only using 10%. But now this strategy is combining a little bit of day trading of that mentality and the experience I have, but using the stock option will allow you, once you learn it, okay, you don't have to stare at 4 screens and always constantly stressful. And then like taking your phone when you're outside, you're like, okay, give me a second. I need to look at this. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry guys. Give me 5. No, none of that. It's just worst case is you own a stock you want to own at a cheaper price and you get paid waiting for it, just like an interest company. So that's why I'll only teach this strategy, not the day trading one, because I know 95% of people will be losing money. Even if I teach them exactly what I do, they don't have the mindset, they don't have the mentality for it, right? And this strategy I'm teaching now, it's really for everyone. And it's a lot easier. And then the return could actually be better and a lot less stress, right? You want that lifestyle, not like get into a new job. You just want, hey, something that works with you on the side. You have real estate, you have property management, but here, I probably do a little bit of 15 to 30 minute trading on the side, generates a really good income. I can use that for saving, for retirement, to fund my next real estate deal or whatever that is, right? For your next vacation, whatever. I'm not an advocate of that, but it's up to you how you want to spend that extra income, right? And it's for me, again, not accounting advice. It was tax at capital gain. And that's a big thing for you.
It sure is. Yeah. So you're deep in the investing world. Is there anything else, any other plans of attack that offer the same type of opportunity, or is this it? Is this what we've been looking for in the investing world? What are some other things people are doing?
I mean, we probably have other guests on talking about, Bitcoin, talking about whatever, flipping cars, flipping watches and all that. I mean, To me, I know those, I learn those, I can do a little bit, but not to the scale where I'm comfortable scaling up and put more money into it with the
Yes.
same amount of time I put in, right? We understand, even Warren Buffett bet really big on US stock market, just things like, hey, USA is still attracting the top talent. All the money are floating in, right? They want to keep all the top talent. So that's where this company is going to excel in the future. And we're betting on that. And just like in real estate, we want to look at the fundamental work, want to look at long term. Are there more immigrants coming into this country? How's the economical environment? How's the interest rate? How's everything, right? Is it a consistent GDP growth and all that, right? So same thing in the stock market. That's why I'm very comfortable in that, because I live in two worlds, and I know that's what creates 90% of millionaires. Really, you don't have to go being creative, be that first one. You could be, quite average, just put in the work and you can get a good return. You don't have to be very stressful about it, right?
Do you, in the name of coaching and training other people to do this, are you taking a position where you're doing it for them, or do you find that this is something that you teach them how to do? Like what seems to be, is this something that I should be incorporating as an investor myself, or is this something that I'd be better suited to just pay someone that knows what they're doing?
So, Ontario has their own regulation, right? OSC, Ontario Security, Institution. They have their own thing. You have to get licensed to be able to handle, other people's money, and, to be able to handle other people's RSP, TFSA, LEROD, and all that. So I'm not trying to teach people and not trying to take other people money and then trade for them. I know I get a lot of requests for that. I'm looking into that, and I'm just thinking about, maybe I will have a fund in the future. But at this point, I think it's easy enough that people can learn and get comfortable with it, right? Learning themselves, getting a good return. And later down the road, hey, if I create a fund, you guys already know what I teach. You guys already make money on it. You guys trust me on it. If you guys don't want to even do it, here, put in the money here. You guys know exactly how I do it, right? So that could be a possibility as well. But at this point, it's just really creating that community, okay, going through the course, I have webinar to support it. And after that, there's an alumni Facebook group where people can help each other. And I always motivate, encourage people to do that, because the moment you're teaching other people on it, you're actually, just helping yourself to straighten things out in your mind and having that steps, right?
Absolutely. Awesome. Cody, thank you for being on the show. If anyone wants to kind of find your course, where are they best to locate you? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about your channel if they want to see more.
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I started this March, and I mainly talk about personal finance, stock option, and real estate investing. Unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to get into real estate investing. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start getting some multifamily gurus on, not guru, gurus, moguls on here to just compare their stock option, compare the multifamily, all that. But in the meantime, if people want to get more, I want to get free content on my weekly updates, on my views on the market. I want to see, some testimonials on my past students and how do they do. I share a lot of golden nuggets here and there. Join the private Facebook group, the free one. You can probably put the link in the description.
We'll do that.
There. And then we're just search me on YouTube, Cody Yeh, right? That's the last name, Y-E-H. Cody is C-O-D-Y.
Awesome. Cody, it's been great chatting with you and teaching some of these investors a little bit about investing.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.